What up, YouTube? Dread Nerdhead here to give you a Batman vs Superman trailer review or the Superman vs Batman review, depending on how you look at it. Some people are more Batman fans than Superman fans, or vice versa. Just to get this out in front, this is going to be the events after A Death in the Family. If you never read or heard of Death in the Family, I'm pretty sure if you're a Batman fan, you had to hear about the Death in the Family somewhere. But if you haven't seen it or know anything about it, I'm going to put a link down below. So you can go over there to Comicstorian and check it out. Okay, so let's get into this. First of all, we find that in the last trailer, when Bruce said that, that son of a bitch brought the war to us, we see that he was in Metropolis around the time that General Zod was holding pretty much the planet hostage looking for him. And all of the destruction and everything. Like in the first trailer, they showed Bruce on the street and he's looking up at the building. We saw Superman's eye beams, going through the building that's tearing it up twice, or at least we thought that that it had to be Superman, right? And then in a later trailer, we find out that, like I said, it was the events of Man of Steel that Bruce Wayne was in Metropolis that day. So it could have been Superman or it could have been Zod's. We won't know until we go and see this movie. But anyways, then he goes to court. So I guess they're like, hey, you caused all this destruction and everything. You gotta be able to pay for this. You can't just like come into our city, have this like cage match and think that you can just get away with it. So I would say that he's willing to, like we saw in Man of Steel, how he was willing to surrender and leave and let them put the handcuffs on, even though Lewis was like,
"You let them handcuff you?"
Wouldn't be much of a surrender if I resisted. And if it makes him feel more secure, then all the better for it.
already saw that Bruce and Alfred are going to have an argument because Alfred's trying to convince him that he's not the enemy. Yes, all this happened because of him, but it's not his fault. But that's not the way that Bruce is looking at it. So he's like, no, I'm gonna go destroy him. It was like when he said that, I went, is he gonna have this like kind of twisted Dr. Isaacs and Michael Myers thing going on? Because it's like, because he was like, oh no, he must be destroyed, because it's like, I forget which Halloween movie, but Dr. Isaacs goes, no, he must die, he must be killed. That's the complex what I think that what's going to happen. Also, another thing to note that this graphic novel was done by Frank Miller. If you think, why does that name sound familiar? He did Sin City,
We need to get out of
and
here.
then
Break this.
he went and did The Spirit. A very another interesting thing happened in the final trailer where it looked like Lex Luthor had the remains of Zod and turned him into. And when I first saw it, I was like, "That's Doomsday." So I'm like, did he create Doomsday? Because see, I don't know the origin of Doomsday. I thought that he was something manufactured by Darkseid. Then again, I could be wrong. But so like I'm like, is Lex Luthor, the architect of Doomsday, or is he just like taking certain things from Zod's body and creating a totally new, creature to, take out Superman? Which, from the trailers right now, we can't see where Superman and Lex will have a problem with each other. We have to see the movie to find that out. One thing I do want to touch on is that I'm pretty sure that Batman and Wonder Woman are going to have some kind of romantic connection in this movie, because we see them at Lex's party dancing together, and also over in Justice League, Wonder Woman was constantly trying to get with Batman, but he kept trying to keep her at bay. And yeah, That would be the look on any guy's face when you see how pissed off Wonder Woman is that you're denying her to get at your junk. There was another thing. They showed Batman tied up, and it looked like he was maybe in the Middle East or somewhere, I don't know. But anyways, he was in like this underground bunker, and then Superman comes in, and he's like, it's like three guys on his left and right, and they bow down. I'm just like, what's going on here? And then he walks up, and he even takes his mask off. And it's like, dude, you have X-ray vision. You had no reason to do that, but I don't know. I guess he was like, I'm getting sick and tired of your shit, Bruce. I think that's where that's gonna start, and then like probably somewhere throughout the movie or throughout the Justice League movies, he's gonna look at Batman and go, Bruce, I'm getting sick and tired of your shit, and he's gonna like deal with it. But the way that they introduced Wonder Woman in the last trailer was probably a lot better than how they introduced her in the other trailers, but she didn't have no screen time to where she was speaking. But the way that they introduced her was nice. It was her shielding both Batman and Superman from charge beam from Doomsday. I honestly want to ask the question, how did Batman think that he could take out Superman? I mean, even with that armor, suit, you're not gonna do much damage unless he, and this would be a huge surprise and probably be one thing that will give him leverage. Everybody knows that Batman doesn't trust anyone. Probably nobody other than Alfred. Maybe and Lucius, I would say those two. But everybody else, he has like contingencies in place in case you try to screw him over. And he's like, oh really? Go do this or go expose this to the media or whatever, and you're done. So I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere through his training or whatever, to get back in shape to take out Superman, he comes across at least like the smallest piece of kryptonite somewhere, and I don't know, maybe he laces some of his suits, the gloves, so every time he hits them, it actually is hurting him, and or putting, implementing it into his weaponry. Have his his batarangs laced with kryptonite. Something. There's got to be something to kind of give him the fighting edge. So I'm just trying to figure that out. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Because that is something that is right now, other than going and reading the graphic novel, that would probably already right there tell me, but spoil the whole movie. That's the only other way I could see, other than waiting to see the movie to find out how he's gonna have to fight Edge. I mean, Superman even in one of the fights, when he's got the armor on, is like, to stay down. If I wanted to, I could have ended this, before I hit the ground. And then I think there was like 4 rounds, because remember we see them fight with Batman in his X-Wing, I want to say, his Batmobile, in the armored suit. And then there's that one where it looks like it's in the Middle East. The 4th one, I would say, is the one that was in the Middle East, but I wouldn't call that one a real fight, because Bruce was already tied up. So I don't call that a fight at all. I'm Dread Nerdhead. I'm out, and let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, put a little comment or whatever down there. Like I said, I'm gonna have things in the description to give you better reference to the Death in the Family and everything else that I talked about in this review. So I'll see y'all later.